All right, so I'm going to do a little lesson today, basically on volume, different types, and what they're good for. It's something I wanted to do for some time, but um, it's important that as a Wyckoff trader, right, you know the different types of volume and what they're there for. So I'm going to explain that and how to use it. But I think in this video I'll just keep it short. All right, so one is obviously bar volume. Well, first let's create the columns. So type of volume, and you have behavior. Let's go time frame, and behavior, and any notes. All right, so let's create that. All right, now the type of volume. So bar volume. Bar volume is your standard bar volume, and you want to use this basically on the daily chart and weekly chart, all of that. But basically the day chart, the weekly chart, and above. So, but the daily is very important, and that's why you use bar volume is very good. The behaviors that you're gonna see, bar volume, is the breakouts, the climaxes, the climax bars, volume off the bottom, the low volume test, and effort reward. All right, so that's what they're gonna, basically bar volume is going to show you. The breakout, then the climax bar is all over the place. Minor climax as well that terminate the swing to a major climax, terminates the trend. Volume off the bottom, low volume test. That's when you have a springboard situation. You have a rally, you pull back, the volume dries up, there's no net progress, no progress in the closes, it's on a springboard, and effort reward. Now, any note? Not really. Okay, next is the intraday. So we'll start with wave volume. So wave volume you can use on the intraday, and you can use on intraday plus, but this is applicable intraday. And this, you basically get your change of behavior, your effort reward, and your lack of supply or demand. And that's really what it's there for. And obviously climaxes. So turning points, behavior like climaxes, COB, waves, effort reward, lack of supply, lack of demand. Typical rally and low volume pullback. So that's what you do. But very important to understand the note that it was this type of volume resulted from lack of not lack of, but resulted from not being able to use bar volume intraday. All right, because if you take a look at bar volume intraday, it's really not helpful. All right, so the whole point of wave volume is that it became popularized because of the issues of using bar volume intraday. Bar volume intraday, when volume is sliced into 5-minute bars or 3-minute bars, or any, when it's sliced like that, you lose the force of the buying and selling. As soon as you take volume and you cut it up into time-based intervals, it loses, it becomes unapplicable. I mean, it just sucks. All right, you cannot see you can't really use it. It's not that good. Wave volume is much better, and there's plenty of examples. Some cases you'll see a spike of volume and the price goes up and all of that, but in general, the bar volume is really awful, because in the beginning of the day it's high, at the end of the day it's high, and in the middle it's not that much. So what happens is you have this this declining from the start of the day to the middle of the day, and then it starts picking up towards the end of the day. So you can't really use bar volume for trading. Some people, they're able to do it, but in general it just doesn't work. Anyway, next volume. Next volume is the volume profile. It's called volume by price. This you could use also on Intraday Plus. Volume profile is based on phases, meaning it's to identify distribution, and by distribution I mean accumulation, distribution, as well as reaccumulation, redistribution, okay, and absorption. And the low volume areas are when it goes into markup and markdown, right? So it's really for phases. So volume profile, you see the big node, the high volume node with the point of control. That's where the maximum accumulation occurred. That particular level, maximum accumulation or distribution occurred. So this is good. Even if you put it on the point figure chart, what do you think is going to happen at the base? There's going to be a massive volume there. So, so what happens is in the accumulation distribution spots, you'll have those big high volume nodes. And when it goes into markup and markdown, it'll be all low volume because time is not being spent. It's going up, 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 or down, 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 down. So this is good for phase, detection of phases. All right, and as well as retests. And that's how it sets up the support and resistance. Because accumulation areas and distribution areas, those point and control areas, they will be defended because someone's, had accumulation there. They might want to continue buying or defending, etc. Then the next type is range-based volume. All right, this is like Renko. This you can use also Intraday Plus. Plus, like, it could be daily, it could be. It's not even. It's based on range, so it doesn't matter the time frame, right? Intraday or not doesn't really matter. This now someone may say, okay, this is also price based, but it's different because it aggregates price. Aggregates volume at price for a particular range, or a brick, Renko brick. This is really good also. It has the same effect as same behaviors, same behaviors. Accumulation, reaccumulation, distribution, all that, absorption. It has that same thing, but it aggregates the prices according to a range, like 1 point. All right, not just every tick or every 5 ticks, but 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, and it's controlled by you. You define it. All right, and this is also really good because it gives you a number. When you're looking at volume profile, you're not really looking at a number. What you're looking at is high volume nodes, low volume nodes, right? A high volume node area, low volume node area, or different high volume node area, but it doesn't give you a print. It doesn't say in the bell-shaped curve, that high volume node, it doesn't say, okay, within this there's 45 million traded. It generally doesn't. It might have an option to do that. You could club it or something like that. But Renko volume does. Range-based volume, you can do it because you'll have a bricks, and you'll have a number. Like this has, let's say, 100. This has 60. This has 30. So someone very likely accumulated here, and let's say we put one more brick. Right? So someone accumulated here. You see? So the Renko will show you, Renko with volume will show you within that range that, yeah, this is 100, this is 60, blah, blah, blah. Whereas the profile, oh shit, I don't want to draw this. This is going to be a bad drawing. But Renko, I can't really draw the curve. I don't know what to do here. Maybe it's like this. Let's see if I can draw it. Yep, there you go. So Renko, volume profile. Okay. Look what I did. Isn't that funny? I just want to draw the, okay, done. All right, it'll show you this is 100, and then it'll show you little, and then maybe another, something like that. And then here it picks up a little. So, oh shit. Alright, so it'll show you histograms, and it'll just show you a point of control, right? Let's say, okay, this is your line of control or point of control or whatever, right? And up here, I don't know what else it's going to have. It might have, 70% or 68%, one standard deviation from the point of control, showing you, yeah, 68% of the volume traded there. Big deal. So what? The key is that line there is important because it is actually the mode. The mode is the most amount of volume. Anyway, it's the most amount of volume, or the max amount of volume. So what that means is that that's your line of accumulation, the price where the most amount of accumulation occurred. That's what I wanted to get across. Sorry for getting into stats, but this is the line of accumulation where the most amount of accumulation occurred. It's different from Renko volume in that Renko volume will just put a brick and a volume. Done. And the next brick will have it, and the next brick will have it, and you can compare like that. But here it's different. It's just bell curve histograms. Not histogram, but what is it? Let's just call it distribution. Yeah, that's the right word. So it's just a distribution, normal distribution or an abnormal distribution, whatever distribution, but with the point of controls and some other 68% or 70%, which is really 34 to 35% on each side of the point of control. So obviously this is different, right? Like, do you get a number in volume profile? You don't. But in Renko, it clubs it and gives you a number, and you can read that. You can read it, right? You can actually read it. Okay, this is 100, and this is much more than the rest, right? And this is the biggest in 4 bricks. You can't really, to some degree you can do it, but not really here. And you're drawing this also on typically on time-based charts, whereas Renko is range-based. So that's why I consider it separate. And this was, I guess, invented. I'm not really sure if it's invented, but I'll just put invented or so. But this was David Weiss introduced. For sure, it was introduced. I don't think anyone else did this. Introduced by David Weiss. Wave volume also, I think, was actually the volume on the wave was in Wyckoff's. So I guess it's popularized by David Weiss. All right, and then there's one other thing I want to show you. All right, I was looking for something, but I can't find it. But basically, it shows that Wyckoff also looked at volume at price. So that volume profile, the price levels across the volume across a particular level. He actually did look at it, and this is in his 1930 or whatever course, late 20s or early 30s, in Division 2. You go to Division 2 in one of those studies. I had gone through it a while ago, and basically he pointed out that across the level, he was looking at the volume. So this is something that he did do, although I don't know who takes the credit for volume profile. This is not something that's new. Volume was looked at price across a particular price. So anyway, so all right, so next step is how do you use all of this together, right? So I've identified the four, and now I'm going to show how you use this together. All right, so imagine you have a Renko chart. The Renko chart is showing you brick volume. You see there's a lot of volume here. And now it's pulling back. When it pulls back, let's say, to the accumulation brick. Okay? So it pulls back to the accumulation brick. And so I don't know what to put here. Let's put 45. And over here, let's put 50. Okay? Alright, now it's pulling back to the accumulation. We're going to box this area. It's going right into that quote-unquote zone. Now, okay, I'll put step 1. Alright. Identify accum or distribution brick. You can do accumulation, distribution, even absorption, but mostly accumulation, distribution, and breakout bricks. But it could also work on absorption. I just don't want to put too much. All right. Step 2 is what? Step 2 is the volume profile. Draw volume profile in. Not in, but across the, across the area. So you draw the volume profile and to ID level. What level? It would be the low volume prior to the high volume POC node. Okay? And, all right, so the low volume prior to the high volume POC, just write low volume prior to the POC and obviously the POC. Okay? Where is that? Now you have the 100, you have the profile, the level is right here. That's the low volume. It's so low you can't even see it. But that's the low volume right there. The low volume, because there's nothing there, so that it doesn't stick out like this distribution does. Here and here. This area is your area to look for something. What do you look for? And this is where wave volume comes into play. So I'm taking 3 volumes. One is the Renko, where I'm identifying the accumulation break or breakout break. I'm identifying the distribution that has your POC. I'm identifying the low volume before the POC to the POC, these 2 levels. And when price gets there, on that lower 5-minute chart or 3-minute chart, I'm using wave volume for what? Let's draw it out. So right there, that's the biggest wave, biggest up wave, right? Biggest up wave, and that is your sign of strength. All right. I'm using wave volume to identify, let's just put some numbers here. It says 50,000 I don't know, 500 contracts. So this one would be like, let's say 40. And let's say this is 70, so 60. And then this is 100. 100. So off of that level, when it comes to that accumulation break and the volume profile, you see the low volume to the POC, as price comes into that area, using wave volume, you identify the sign of strength. Bingo. All right, what that's saying, what is this meaning? This meaning either they're accumulating more or defending accumulation. I don't know, some new buying. I guess that's accumulating more. We don't know who's doing accumulation, but either they're buying more or they're defending their buying, right? So that's what's going on at that level. So as price goes here, anyway, as price goes here, right, you got your sign of strength. And then obviously you just wait for small wave weakness, and then it should go up. There should be a lack of supply. All right, now now look at what I've done here. Step 1, step 2. I'm gonna put in step 3 for all you Wyckoff traders. COB at the level. That's it. So step 1 is ID accumulation distribution breakout break. Draw a volume profile to ID the level, and which level? The low volume prior to POC to the POC, like that area. And then wave volume shows a COB occurs at the level or in the area, you know, that zone, that area. It may not be exact price level, obviously, so that's what happens. So this here, all this comes down to is this. Buyers are accumulating more or they're defending their accumulation. And as they're doing that, it is a legitimate edge. This is edge. Okay? So now the key is I've taken three types of volume: Renko volume, volume profile, and wave volume. So this is I combine these three and they work very nicely together for intraday trading. They work very nicely together. Now, what is the daily bar volume picture? Basically, that'll just tell you that, yeah, the daily chart is in an uptrend or downtrend. And many times you're really just focusing on these three, and with the higher time frame being up, all right, in the same trading with that direction. But Renko volume profile, I don't want to overcomplicate it, but this is it. All right. So this is what the Wyckoff traders should focus on: the Renko volume profile, wave volume. Now a question might come up: oh, why do you need Renko? Why don't you just use volume profile? Believe me, you will make an error. All right. The Renkos the Renko and the volume profile, they kind of help create clarity about where to look. Using volume profile by itself is you can make mistakes, but with the Renko, it will prevent you from making the mistakes, because you'll know precisely which brick has more and which brick has less, and where to go, like which area to target, and then use a volume profile to get specifics. But if you use volume profile by itself, I've seen that I've made errors, and by not by basically picking the wrong distribution and the wrong POC. So you want to, in my opinion, you have to use step 1, 2, 3 like together. Okay, I've given a lot here, and hopefully you can use it to help yourself. All right, thank you, and have a good day. Bye.